Ramuji, it is a great honor to have you here with us. We welcome you here on the Mind Show, powered by Wise Mirror and Project Gapnium.
Thank you, Anuraj. I'm very privileged and honored to be with you today.
Thank you so much. So, Shri Ramanujam ji, or lovingly called Ramuji, has a unique blend to life with his work as a motivational speaker, management coach, spiritual guide, and guru. His new age voice of inspiration for connecting humanity to true self has been a key domain of influence and impact for the greater good. He coined something called happiness at work. He has led many corporate transformation trainings and elevated organizations like Google, IBM, Microsoft, GE, HP, Intel, and so on. Ramuji is also a Six Sigma black belt for quality improvement. His thinking is deeply aligned with our Wise Mirror mindset and philosophy as we talk about the transformation from me to we, from utopia to WEtopia for all. So, Ramuji, you've done a lot of different executive training modules. You've been teaching happiness at work, which of course you coined over 20 years ago with the PERMA philosophy elements, transformational leadership, situational leadership, win win leadership from Dr. Rosenberg, the empathy, anger management areas. You've done a lot of coaching, mentoring, behavior performance, problem solving, system process thinking, and so forth. So you've run all these amazing programs for so many different corporates on inner transformation. Let's start with the why and the key purpose. And as Simon Sinek talks about that deep why and the passion with the purpose, what led to these initiatives, and what are some of the key areas of focus, and extrapolate a little bit more about what they contain.
The story starts way back in 2006. All right. So that's when my spiritual master, he told me to go and talk and speak with people, let them understand that happiness, love, compassion, all that is within. And all that needs is an inner transformation, an IT, right? And so that's when I went to a place called Hyderabad, and we were doing lectures on Advaita philosophy, the
Mhm,
oneness, that we are all one and consciousness is one. That is the highest state of being,
mhm.
right? And while I was doing the lecture, there were very young people who were all IT experts, and they could immediately connect to this concept. And they said, Ram, you should actually do that to our workforce people also, our compatriots at work.
Yeah.
And they said, just come and talk. And if possible, try to see if you can make the language more palatable for a person of a corporate background,
Mhm.
right? So I said, fine. And I go there the next day to Microsoft office because one of the chaps were working there in Hyderabad. I was wearing my kurta, dhoti, and with a lovely little cloth bag. I just went and knocked the door of the gate out there. The
Right.
guard was really miffed. He said, "Sir, I think you came to a wrong place. This is not a temple. It's a corporate house." I said, "You're doing good to people. You are trying to make life better. So I consider it no less a temple. So let me in." And he says, "No, no, you need to have a pass." And then I said, "Check with your HR guy." And then immediately he calls. He comes running. He takes me to the room. And to his credit, he was very non-judgmental about my habiliment.
Right.
You see. And I go to this little room. I was expecting 4 or 5 people, and then actually 32 people turned up. And I counted, yes. And then I spent about 1 hour to 1.5 hours explaining the simple philosophy of love and happiness is within.
Mhm.
How did I explain it? Is in with a little easy logic. Generally, we love any object or any person who is a source of happiness, right? So if that object or that person does not give me happiness, I don't think I would love that or
Right.
him or her.
Sure.
And whom do I love the most? I. Huh? So that clearly shows me, since I love myself the most, I am the source of the happiness.
Mhm. So true.
That's Advaita philosophy.
Wonderful.
So I told them, look here, uh, as you very beautifully pointed out, happiness is a choice. Stress is an option, which means you are the agency to pick happiness or stress. What happens around us, the circumstances around us do not contribute to happiness or stress. It is our reaction to what happens around me. It is our response to what happens around me because of my belief system, because of my experience and all that, which creates stress
Right.
or happiness in me.
Amazing.
And started giving them examples. They were very happy. Then they said, since they were Microsoft, they said, can you make it into a PowerPoint presentation?
Right.
I said, can you help me? And then a couple of guys came, they
Yeah.
gave a structure to that. And then I started doing programs on happiness. Initially, people were a little amused.
Yeah.
Chalo, we'll give him a try type of a thing. And then over time, people started taking well-being and happiness seriously.
Yes.
And I called it happiness at work.
Right.
Not happiness at workplace. Because look here, we are roles, but we are persons who take those roles.
Yeah.
I am a son, but I am a person. I am Ram. I am a son to my mother. I may be a friend to my group of friends.
Yeah.
I may be a citizen of my country, Bharat. Or I am a visitor to Australia. So when I am a visitor to Australia, there is a language I speak, there is a way in which I speak, I conduct myself, etc.
Right.
Because I am playing a role.
Yes.
When I am a son to my mother, I am playing a role. But then, fundamentally, happiness has nothing to do with the role. It is to do with the person.
Right.
And that is the reason why over many teachings I have learned a lot. And my master very beautifully says that happiness is what you are.
Right.
That's the philosophy. It becomes a little vague when I go to corporates. So I tell them, how do you start cognizing your feelings and needs?
Right.
And how do you start respecting others' feelings and needs? And when we are very clear about our feelings and needs, and when we realize that our feelings are nothing but a reflection of a met or an unmet need, I stop branding negative feeling, positive feeling. I need both. It's a baggage. It's a package.
Yes.
And so when I'm feeling sad, it is the nature's way of telling me, Ram, drop everything else, find out, sense your need, because feelings lead me to sense my need.
Yeah.
It has been put on purpose, even if it's painful. And if I find a little joy or a little delight in something, it is telling me your needs are met. Reinforce the habit.
Yes.
Reinforce the behavior. Right?
Totally.
So nature's way of telling me that to connect me to my needs is my emotions, very precious. And I should not cherry pick. I want joy over sorrow.
Yeah.
I want pleasure over pain. Because both are there for one simple purpose. Connect with your needs. When you realize that, would you shirk challenges? Or would you be energized by challenges?
Right.
And that's the, theme I posited and gave them, and they lapped it up.
Yes.
And I thought, let's me do happiness at work, right? And then I realized I have been trained on leadership ethics and leadership themes.
Yes.
I realized leadership in one word is influence, right? So when I say I'm a leader and I have never influenced anybody, how can I be a leader?
Right.
I'm only managing resources.
Yeah.
So what does influence mean? Influence means how can I connect to somebody else's need so that they also feel connected to me?
Right. Right.
When I either make somebody clear about their needs and inspire them to take a positive journey towards the fulfillment of their needs,
Yes.
they are very grateful to me. I have an influence, I have a connection.
Totally. Totally.
And now as a leader, I have two needs in play. One is so-called organizational needs and the individual's own aspirations and needs. If I'm a good leader, I would align an organizational needs to the individual's needs,
Right.
make him feel the need intensely, so that instead of me goading him to work, I guide him to work.
Right.
Because he finds or she finds the need to fulfill the need. And the actions flow in. The simplest principle which our ancients used to say, don't try to drag the horse to drink water.
Right.
Make it run around, make it thirsty, it will find its own water.
Point it to the water. Right.
Just make it thirsty.
Thirsty. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
It will go and drink.
So, yeah.
Likewise, the leader's job is to inspire the right thirst, which not only fulfills the individual's needs, but also the organizational needs.
Amazing.
And when you align these two, you have done the job of a leader. Then I find again needs and feelings, right? Influence.
Totally.
And that's the transformation which happens from a transactional leadership of go get it this done,
Mhm.
task-oriented leadership,
Yes.
to a transformational people-oriented leadership.
Right.
That's the critical change. I realize I am in the space already.
Totally.
And then comes the area of self-improvement, and there is plethora of books on self-improvement, right?
Yes.
How to be a better me and all that
Mm.
stuff. And then I realized, how can I be a better me? I can be a better me if my life is driven by purpose and values and not greed and fear,
Yes.
right? If I'm guided by greed and fear, how can I ever be happy?
Mhm.
Because greed is endless and fear is something which debilitates me.
Yeah.
So reward and punishment is what guides me to life. I'm going to have a pathetic life. I'm going to have an inhuman life.
Mhm.
And greed is reward.
Yes.
And punishment is fear.
Yes.
And generally I'm guided by these two. I'm not leading a human life.
Yeah.
Hence I can't lead a humane life. Huh? So what else can drive my actions? Can I just be a recluse or a hermit? No, I have two other wonderful factors which can guide me to a happy journey, not destination, which is purpose and values.
Mhm.
Huh? I realized this augurs well with an organizational perspective and a self-improvement perspective, where I let my life be guided, as they call in India, dharma,
Yes. Mhm.
which is both purpose and values, rather than carrot and the stick.
Right.
I don't want to be a Pavlov's dog.
Mhm.
I want to be a perennial god,
Mhm.
not a dog. You see, a Pavlov's dog is guided by greed and fear.
Right.
But if I realize my divinity in here, I'm going to be guided by something greater. That's how I enhance my consciousness. So I realize to elevate consciousness
Yes.
is the common theme between leadership
Yes.
and self-improvement
Mhm.
and also happiness.
Right.
Yeah. And all the three together had a wonderful confluence. In India, we celebrate confluence of three rivers called Triveni. This is the divine corporate Triveni
Mhm.
of leadership enhancement,
Yeah.
self-improvement as a better person,
Yeah.
and of course a happier person. Effective, happier leader.
Yes.
And that space was available. And instead of asking people, I'll make you a better leader, and people get a little skeptic about it.
Yeah.
Or I tell people, we can improve you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We tell them, I'll make you happier. And in the bargain, you can pick up good leadership influence skills.
Yes.
And also, improve yourself.
Mhm.
Be a more effective person,
Yeah.
happier person,
Mhm.
and an effective leader who can influence change for the better.
Mhm.
And that's how the corporate programs came into being.
Amazing.
Thank you for asking
That is
this
so
question.
beautiful. I mean,
Thank
you've
you.
covered so much wisdom there, and you just reminded me of well, obviously one of the key points you talked about is the deep empathy
Yes.
connection, right?
Yes.
And I mean, the world today has seen a massive empathy deficit,
Yes.
unfortunately, right?
Yes.
And that's what we need to fill. And to that effect, I remember 15 odd years ago, I was mentoring a startup which was making a film
Mhm.
called Stand in My Shoes. And they were part of Cross Media Labs. And in fact, I was also made an honorary executive producer for that. And we had His Holiness Dalai Lama. We had some great people on board globally to help. Unfortunately, it didn't raise enough budgets and for that film, but it transformed into a virtual reality project, because with technology, again, used for the greater good, we could amplify and bring people into, because VR, virtual reality, putting you in that 360 immersive media mode, could take you through a transformation of being totally deeply empathetic of situations.
Mhm.
So there's so many amazing applications there that we've looked at with aged care, with taking people through journeys, more meaningful connections through technology.
Mhm.
So I think you've really touched on something so timeless wisdom there, which we can apply in today's modern technology
Absolutely, sir.
for what we call conscious leadership, and how
Absolutely.
mindful
Absolutely.
futures that we need to bring and really create that awakened mindset, as we call it.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Anuraj.
Thank you.